So you're thinking about making a move to Irvine and you're exploring all of the things that you need to, doing all of your research before you make the decision. So good for you. And if you haven't already, I suggest you check out our previous video, my previous video, I should say, of the 5 pros and cons for living in Irvine. And if you've already looked at it and you've made your way here, excellent. Today, we are going to talk about the cost of living here in Irvine, California. Hi, I'm Giselle. And again, if you are considering making a move to Irvine or you just want to become more familiar with Irvine, California, then I highly suggest you click on the subscribe button below because I'll be posting videos all about living in Irvine, California and the surrounding Orange County areas. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So you saw in the 5 pros and cons that the cost of living, or that it is a little bit more expensive, was one of the things, the factors that you need to consider when making a move here. I also mentioned that I've lived in Irvine for about 2.5 years. So as I'm going through this, I'm going to put it into context with some other surrounding areas, or not surrounding areas, just so that you get a feel or an idea for what it truly costs to live here. One of the things that when you're looking to make a move into a new area, it's not just the geographical location that you need to take into consideration and the weather and just the cost of housing, but it's everything else that surrounds it. So we're talking about tax rates, utilities, groceries, gas, etc., because all of that could potentially make an impact on your lifestyle and how you live in a certain area. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you should know, and you probably already know because, hey, this is California. California is not just about the beaches and the sun and the mountains. It's also really well known for being super expensive. And Orange County is no different when it comes to that. Now, it is considered about 52% more expensive for the cost of living than the national average. So you do have to pay a pretty penny to live here in California. Now, with that said, it is considered more affordable than, let's say, New York City, which is obviously across the nation, but it's also more affordable than other popular destinations here in California, such as LA and the San Francisco Bay Area. So you still get the beautiful beaches, the nice weather 90% of the year, and it is more affordable overall than those two areas. So there are some benefits for being down here. Okay. So first things first, let's just talk about housing and Irvine specifically. So Irvine, in comparison to the rest of Orange County, is a little pricier than the rest of the surrounding areas. It does, as we've mentioned, has the highly rated schools, and it is considered newer development. The city is well taken care of, et cetera, et cetera. With that, there is a cost for living there. We're also about 6 miles to the coast, to the beach, so we're very close and we get the ocean breeze here on a regular basis. If you're on the west part of Irvine, the eastern side, you can expect about a 10-degree difference. I digress, sorry. All right, the median price point for a single family home in Irvine as of June 2021 is about $2 million. If you compare that to the rest of Orange County, the median price point for a single family home is about $1.2 million. Now, again, I'm talking about median price points here. So there is going to be a wide range depending on the size, the location, the age of the home, the finishes, et cetera, et cetera. So you're looking at about $2 million for the median sales price of a home here. That is 157% above the national average for housing. So that gives you an idea, a clear-cut picture of what it's like comparison to the rest of the nation. Some other things that you're going to want to consider is cost of rent. So for the median price point of rent in Irvine as of June 2021 for 2-bedroom, 2-bath is about $27.97 per month. So it is a little bit higher than what you can expect in a lot of other areas, not just in Orange County, but in the nation as well. So it is on the pricier side. Energies and phone bills. The average here, according to the stats that were pulled from Irvine, is $175 per month. Now, again, it's going to vary based on size of the home, energy efficiency that's been added to the home, and things like that, the age. So it could vary quite a bit, but if we're just taking averages, that's what's being reported, $175.21 per month. The phone bill is at $187.30. Now, most of us have cell phones these days, and most of us don't even have a house line. So you may not even be using phone bill to that extent, and your phone bill may actually include your internet bill as well. So for me personally, I pay about $80 a month for cell phone, and then my internet bill is $50 a month. And so it just, it depends on which service you're using and what you're putting into it. But that is what is noted as the average according to the stats that are reported to Irvine, the Irvine City. Gas here, as of June 2021, gas in Irvine is $4.26 on average per gallon for regular unleaded and $4.72 per gallon for premium. So that is a little pricier than the rest of the nation. That's sitting, I believe, in the mid to high threes at the moment. So it's significantly more. Now, of course, you may find lower gas prices in places like Costco, or there are some AMPMs and other places that have more discount gas. But this is just the average pricing. If you're thinking about groceries, well, who isn't, right? We all need to think about groceries. We kind of need them. But if you're looking at comparing the cost of food items at the grocery store, here's an example. For a loaf of bread, if you're looking for local premium bread, so like a San Francisco sourdough, then you're looking at about $5.49 for a loaf of bread. If you're looking at Wonder Bread, just Wonder Bread white bread, it's currently priced at $2.49 for a loaf of bread. Eggs, if you're looking at a dozen AA large eggs, it's going to be around $3.29. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what you can expect for groceries. And then finally, the last thing that I wanted to bring up is the tax rate. So something that you do need to consider here in California, we do have a sales tax rate. So anytime you go shopping for things aside from most food items, there is a tax rate that's going to be tacked on to anything that you're buying. So clothes, furniture, all of that. In Orange County, the tax sales rate is hovering at 7.75%, and it's been there for a while. I don't know how long it'll stay that way, but it's been that much. Now, in comparison to Contra Costa County up north in Northern California, over there, it's 8.75. And if you compare it to LA, which again is only about 40 minutes north of here, LA is at 9.5% sales tax. So you definitely get a significant tax break or discount when you're comparing to the cost of living in LA. So those are the pieces of information that I have for you today. Again, if you want to learn more about living in Irvine, California and the surrounding areas, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop a comment below, send me a message, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.